Yeah, I was 14 years old when the first time I went, and the very first class I went to was a jiu-jitsu class, and it was not what I was expecting. People know that when I'm gonna fight, I'm gonna bring it, and I'm gonna fight, with every ounce of my soul, and I'm gonna be going for the kill the whole time. I just prepare for anything, and I just tell myself in my mind that they're gonna be bringing it, they're gonna be, trying to win as bad as I'm gonna win, and I just
All right, guys, this is Crazy Kev here, and I'm here with Invicta fighter Ashley Barrett. How we doing?
good, feeling good. How are you?
Doing great. Can't complain. And Ashley, you just got signed to Invicta, and you have a fight coming up. Talk to us a little bit more about that matchup and what it was like to get that call.
Yeah, it was amazing. Getting signed to Invicta has been a dream since I was 14 years old and first started training and knew that I wanted to be a fighter. It was pretty unexpected. There were a few other fights that I had lined up, I had fallen through, or the opponent didn't really want it or anything. And then Invicta ended up taking us up on, we asked them if they had anything, and they offered a 4-fight contract, and now I'm fighting in 3 weeks. So it all kind of just came together unexpectedly, but it worked out for the better.
Yeah, no, that's definitely awesome. And I'm glad you got the call. And, you mentioned your fight's a couple weeks away. I mean, what are you kind of doing in training camp to kind of get prepared for this matchup?
I'm always training pretty hard anyway, and I knew that something could pop up at any moment, so I'm staying ready. I go and I do my strength and conditioning, and I work really hard there. I'm in the gym every day, drilling with my teammates, there for hours and hours. So I'm just always ready. So now we're just kind of ramping it up and thinking about getting the weight down.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. Now, how hard is it to get those pounds off? What are you kind of doing to cut the weight?
Not too hard, especially because it's so hot out and we're sweating so much. So I guess just tweaking my diet a little bit, but it's been pretty easy. The weight's coming off really easy.
Very nice, very nice. That's definitely awesome. And when you're in the gym, I mean, who's maybe some of the best training partners to make you the best version of you?
I'm really lucky to train with Hillary Rose, who is a well-known pro in New England and outside of New England even. And then I have another female teammate who's an up-and-coming amateur who's actually making her amateur debut a week after me, Ariana. So look forward to that. She helps me too. And then all the other fighters in the gym. We have a bunch of New England known people who we're all in there together, but it's really good to have the ladies. And then we have another young girl who's up and coming, who's a Muay Thai fighter, who's 17, but already a killer. So it's really good to have some ladies in there pushing each other. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's definitely awesome. Now, when you're in the gym, and what's the vibes like? What kind of music do you listen to when you're training?
Whoever's on the aux, it can be really interesting. Sometimes you get Lady Gaga's Poker Face. Sometimes you get metal. You never really know, but we're like a family, so it's always really good vibes in there. It's like my home.
Yeah, that's very cool. And when you're on the aux, what do you like to play?
Well, my walkout song is Barracuda by heart, so anything like that gets me amped up.
I love it. Now, how did you end up picking up that walkout song?
Well, I've always known that song my whole life, and I think I just heard it one day and just got so fired up and was like, this is my walkout song.
Fair enough. I like it. Now, when it comes to your walkout, do you end up trying to practice your walkout or anything like that? Either when you're at the arena or just at your house to kind of get prepared, or is it just kind of go with the flow?
Just kind of go with the flow. Everything just kind of falls into place, and I just kind of get into that zone as it comes closer and closer. And then when I'm walking out, I'm ready. I'm in the zone.
I like it. Okay. Now, when it comes to your MMA career, I mean, what's maybe some of your goals that you may have in MMA?
Well, the major goal is to go to the UFC, be the best in the world, obviously become world champion. And Invicta, getting there is part of that. That's been a huge goal for me. So, I mean, it was step by step. At first, it was, having a good amateur career, winning a belt, then going pro. And then after that, so I've already done the first step, which was have a good amateur career. I was 6-1. I won the 125-pound belt at Combat Zone, and then I won the 115-pound belt for Reality. And so now it's that next step of going pro.
That's awesome. That's definitely pretty cool. Now, when it comes to your career and all of your fight gear, your fight shorts, your fight gloves, even that title you just mentioned, what do you typically do with all that stuff?
Well, there's this behind me. My belts aren't on it. They're actually in my living room because my parents like to look at it. But yeah, and it's not really big enough to hold the belts, but I definitely like to display them. I'm very proud of them.
That's awesome. That's definitely really nice. And, like you mentioned, you're trying to get to the UFC one day. I mean, how long do you think it could maybe take you till we could maybe see you there one day?
I don't think it's going to take too long. I think within maybe the next few years. I'm 23 right now, so I'm still pretty young. I honestly think by the time I'm like between like 25, 27, I think I'm going to be starting to make my way there.
Awesome. Now, when the UFC kind of calls people up, they do a lot of like these short notice calls. Would that be something you're interested in, or would you maybe want to try to get on like from the Contender Series or another way like that?
Any way that I could get to the UFC, I would take it. Honestly, any opportunity, I would not say no to.
That's awesome. Fair enough. That definitely makes sense. Now, when it comes to you, I mean, obviously you're a beast in the cage, but I mean, what do you typically like to do outside of fighting?
Not much. This is like my whole world. I recently got into shooting guns, so that's fun. It's a fun thing. I don't know, not much. I like to hang out with my family. My friends are pretty much all my teammates, so I'm pretty much just always in the gym, or I'm just like chilling.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Now, when it comes to the shooting, I mean, how'd you get into that? What was maybe the first thing that, or the first weapon that you shot?
Just like a little like 22 handgun.
Nice.
But then like my brother actually recently got into it, and he got a 9mm, and I shot that, and I really liked shooting that. So I just started going to the range with my brother, honestly, and I just really liked it. So I'm not good at it yet. I've only gone like a few times, but it's definitely something I want to get into.
Very nice. Very nice. Now, do you want to try to do like hunting or anything like that in the future, or no?
Maybe not hunting. I'd feel too bad, but I would definitely do like shooting competitions at like a range or something. Be like Valentina Shevchenko.
There you go. There you go. I like that. It's definitely pretty cool. Now, outside of fighting, when you have some free time, do you ever watch like any TV shows or movies or anything like that?
Yeah, if you know me, you know I love SpongeBob. So like I literally have like a SpongeBob reference for like everything. It probably annoys people how often I quote and reference SpongeBob, but yeah, that's like the first thing that comes to mind. I also religiously watch 90 Day Fiance every Sunday, and then I watched Game of Thrones, and so now the House of Dragon series, I'm watching that too.
Very nice. Very nice. I'm also a big SpongeBob guy. What's maybe some of your favorite SpongeBob memories that you might have?
I really like the episode when we think he's finally going to get his license, and Patrick is like in his head telling him, and he just like at the end like just confesses to cheating and starts freaking out, and then doesn't get his license. That episode cracks me up. And of course the campfire episode, campfire song. There's so many episodes. The Bubble Bowl. They're all so classic. Definitely the earlier ones are so good.
Oh yeah. You ever see that one episode? Like, I believe it's called like Sailor Mouth. Like when they like were cursing nonstop. That's my favorite one.
Yep. With the dolphin sound.
Yeah. That's my favorite. Hands down.
That's the best.
Yeah, 100%. That's definitely my favorite one. And, like you kind of mentioned, you like to play some music and stuff. Wait, I mean, when you're not training, I mean, do you ever go to like concerts or anything like that during your free time?
Not really. I mean, concert tickets are really expensive, and also just like the big crowds and stuff like that kind of stress me out. So it would have to be someone like really, really good, and I'd have to like have someone to go with me. But yeah, not really.
Fair enough. Yeah, no, fair enough. I definitely got you there. And, when it comes into training, I mean, what was maybe your first day on the mats? Can you describe us a little bit more what it was like to train for the very first time?
Yeah, I was 14 years old when the first time I went, and the very first class I went to was a jiu-jitsu class, and it was not what I was expecting, and I was like freaking out a little bit inside. I was like, what is this? I did like karate as a kid, so I kind of in my mind thought it was going to be similar to that. But then we were like shrimping and doing all these things, and I was like, what is going on? So then I started doing just like Muay Thai, like cardio classes and stuff like that. And I did that for a little while. And once I got comfortable with that, I started to get more into the ground stuff.
Fair enough. Okay. Now, well, when you first did karate, I mean, what was maybe some of your favorite memories with that?
Honestly, it was just like, I did a lot of sports as a kid that like I couldn't really like get into. I didn't really care about. I was like, whatever. But then when I did karate, I had like a lot of fun doing it, and I actually really cared about it. And like I would like be thinking about how I was going to get better when I wasn't there. So I knew that martial arts was something that I was like passionate about and really cared about, versus other sports I didn't really like care too much about it. I was like, whatever. So I knew that martial arts was what I was into. So I think it translated really well and helped me find MMA.
So how long did you stick with karate? What belt did you end up achieving?
I was a kid, so I got like an orange belt. I don't even know what that's an equivalent to. I think I did it for like 2 or 3 years, and then the place that I was going to actually like closed down. So that was kind of how I made that transition to MMA. I remember watching UFC, and like I never watched UFC like as a kid. I didn't know anything about it. I thought MMA was like a fake thing that like happened in other states. I had no idea that it was right here in New England too. I didn't know that there was an MMA gym in my own town either, that I probably drove past a million times. And yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely awesome. So when it comes to MMA, I mean, who are maybe some of your favorite fighters that you like to watch?
Oh, God. Well, I love Valentina Shevchenko, of course. And then, of course, watching my own teammates is really special. But yeah, anytime there's a really well-rounded female, I love to watch that.
So when it comes to Valentina, have you been watching The Ultimate Fighter at all?
I actually haven't. I've just been seeing the highlights on Instagram, but I do need to make a point to watch it.
Yeah, no, I definitely think you should watch her. She's definitely a pretty intense coach. I would love to be on her team if I was in the UFC one day. She's definitely awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, when it comes to you, I mean, one other thing I was curious about too, I mean, for someone that's never seen your fighting style before, how would you kind of describe it to somebody who's tuning in for the first time?
Just violence, for sure. Like I just bring violence and aggression from beginning to end. People know that when I'm going to fight, I'm going to bring it, and I'm going to fight, with every ounce of my soul, and I'm going to be going for the kill the whole time.
Nice. Now, when it comes to you, I mean, obviously you've competed a little bit now in the amateur scene. I mean, what do you think is the biggest difference from the amateur scene to the pro scene?
Definitely the rules, and obviously now it's 5-minute rounds, but now I'll get to elbow, I'll get to knee girls in the head. It's and then of course it's kind of a bigger stage. It's different, but not that different. But
fair enough. Now, when you're in the gym, I mean, how often do you practice those knees and elbows, if you even ever do?
Well, I was supposed to make my pro debut a few months ago, but it was just really hard to nail down an opponent. So I've been thinking about it for a while, and I fought in Muay Thai fights where elbows were allowed. So I've probably been training with elbows throughout the entire time that I've been training. But to now think about it with MMA, yeah, probably for at least the last 6 months or so, we've really been focusing on getting those elbows in there and seeing them from different positions, from the clinch, from the wall. It's been really fun. I really have liked mixing that in there.
Very nice. Very nice. Now, obviously, a lot of your opponents, on the amateur scene, there's not a lot of film and stuff. So, I mean, how do you kind of prepare for these kinds of opponents, not knowing much about them?
I just prepare for anything, and I just tell myself in my mind that they're going to be bringing it. They're going to be, trying to win as bad as I'm going to win. And I just try to prepare myself for the worst, try to prepare myself for the toughest opponent I can imagine. And I try to prepare for it to go all 3 rounds and be ready. So, I never take anyone lightly. I never, underestimate anybody. I know that they want to win as badly as I do, but I want to win more.
Fair enough. Fair enough. That definitely makes sense. Now, you mentioned it's kind of hard to find opponents. When I first started doing these interviews, I started learning that there's a lot of crazy pullouts and stuff with your opponents. Do you happen to have any funny stories with people pulling out in the last second?
Yeah, I mean, I was supposed to fight this girl a few months ago, and she kind of just ghosted us. It was weird. It was we were 3 weeks out, and I kind of wasn't really sure if I was going to be fighting or not. So that's about as weird as it gets for me. Just kind of not knowing, people just kind of disappearing into thin air. But I haven't really had anyone bail on the day of or the day before, anything like that, thankfully.
Yeah, well, that's definitely good. And, when it comes to the behind the scenes stuff, when it comes to being a fighter, the medicals, the paperwork, all that little stuff, even selling tickets, talk to us a little bit more about what you kind of have to do.
It can be stressful. It's one more thing that you have to think about, meeting those deadlines. And you do have to sell tickets, especially as an amateur, because if you want to make money, you only get paid for the ticket sales. So it's definitely an added stress, but it's, part of the job.
Yeah, no, it definitely sounds like it 100%. Now, one thing about me is I'm a Taekwondo instructor. I've been teaching for 6 years, and I've been training since I was 5 years old, so 19 years now. So I love martial arts. And with all the people I have in my gym, what advice do you give to them to keep on coming into the gym and to keep on getting better and better every day?
You just got to keep showing up, even when it sucks. You just got to keep showing up. You're not going to get better if you quit.
Yeah, I definitely think that's a solid message, 100%. And when it comes to your social medias, I mean, where can we find you at?
Yeah, so I'm on Instagram, Ashley, 3_ Barrett. And that's really all I have right now. I probably need more social media.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I know Invicta just posted you got signed not too long ago, and there's a couple people commented if you have a Twitter and stuff. So I'm sure maybe people want to see you on there soon too.
Yeah, I'm not on there, but maybe soon.
Fair enough. Fair enough. And Ashley, it's been awesome talking to you. Like I said, I think you have a lot of potential. So thank you so much for coming on. What's maybe your final message out there to the fans watching this video?
Stay tuned. This is just the beginning, and I can't wait to see what the future brings.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to it as well, too. Thank you so much for taking the time, Ashley. And we're looking forward to your next fight.
Thank you for having me.
No problem. All right, stay in touch. Best of luck.
Definitely.